So stunting.
Party mama. Makes a party mama, brings a party mama. To the party mama. Party mama makes a party mama is the party mama. Strobe lights, glass, disco ball, ice skates and sunglasses and light, beach the door, Capri Sun, kiss, ready in a sordid dance, to the party mama. Stop, lava. Party mama knows the party.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It's so good to see all of you that's here. And I'm hoping there's like 1 million people watching online, because there's like 10 people in this room or something. So, but I'm thankful for the 10 people that's here, and I'm excited. And Adeline just fell down. I'm excited for tonight with our worship. I'm excited tonight for the word that we have. I'm excited because, man, it's been a long week, right? Today's only Wednesday. I know, it's been so long. So I'm wearing one of my new favorite shirts. So, right, never forget. And it has a toilet paper on there, right? So never forget the toilet paper shortage of 2020, right? That's awesome. Okay, guys, if you all are ready, worship team, when you guys are ready, let's come on up. Get prepared, get ready. Man, we'll take anybody that wants to come in. Oh, it's Jack and Sharon. Well, they can come visit us too. They can come visit us too. Let's see if we can recruit them. Where are they? Oh, come on in, Jack and Sharon. Or Sharon, come on. You can come join us. Yeah, they're not paying attention. You can come join us. You want to? Yeah, I'm talking to you guys. Yeah, you come on in with us. All right, you guys ready to worship? I know I am. Lord, we're just so thankful for the day that you've given us, Lord. We're thankful for the opportunity to come together and just be able to worship. Lord, we pray that you would tonight, Lord. God, just fill this place with your spirit. Fill this place, God, with your presence. Fill this place with your love. Lord, I pray that, God, whoever may be watching online tonight, just, God, receives, Lord, whatever they need tonight. Lord, we love and praise you, and we just give you all the glory, the praise, and the honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
My God will never
Thank you, worship team. Whoa, that's hot. Whew. Look out. Channel 1. Maybe that's a little better, huh? That's a little better. Hopefully that's not too bad. All right, so last week we started our brand new series, Origin Story. Origin Story. So this was all about, right, about superheroes and how they all have a beginning, right? Each one of them, they all have some sort of a beginning and origin within their story. And obviously, we also talked about your mission, right? And as far as that your mission may not be to save the world, right? Just like who knows what's going to happen next within the month of June. You know, 2020 has been a rough year. Somebody said, who knows, I don't know, what was it? Crocodiles that can run chainsaws or something like that. I don't know. No telling what's coming next, right? So, but this week, so Paul, if you'll hit next for me. So the next week, or this week, we are heroes care for the people that are around them. Heroes care for the people that are around them. Paul, if you can hit next for me. Oh, that's no good. Well, there was a poll in there, but obviously we can't do the poll because it's asking for my login, and I can't walk over there and log in right now. So, but what this poll said was essentially, what is a superhero's main job? What is a superhero's main job? And the question, or the kind of the things that you could pick from were to battle strangely dressed villains. So you could have picked that. You could have picked to model the latest trends in latex. Yeah, that's nice. Next one was to show off their superpowers. And then finally, the last one was to accidentally destroy a lot of buildings. To accidentally destroy a lot of buildings. If it were me, if I were picking, I would actually go back to my Rampage years. Oh, do you know what Rampage is? No? Rampage? Yeah, Rampage. So Rampage is a video game where you could be a gorilla, a alligator, crocodile type creature, or I can't remember the other one. But either way, you could pick from 3 creatures, and then all you had to do was destroy buildings. So if I were a superhero, I would probably just destroy buildings on accident and say, whoops. And then somebody else could fix it. So you see, superheroes do a little bit of all those things, though. If you think about it, superheroes do a little bit of all of those. You know, they battle strangely dressed villains, right? A lot of the times, people that are evil, right, they dress just weird. But then sometimes you see that superheroes get dressed up in what? In these awesome, wonderful latex suits. And then obviously, a lot of them, they love to show off what kind of superpowers they have. Who did we talk about last week? Captain Marvel, right? And how awesome she was and everything she could do. And then finally, right, accidentally destroy a lot of buildings. If you guys watch the Avengers, right, what happens within there? Buildings are destroyed all the time. I mean, they couldn't, yeah, there's no way they could recover from that. So if we were to name one thing every superhero has in common, though, it would be what? Well, we talked about weakness last week. That's true. They have in common, though, most of the time, a superhero helps people, right? People, if they're given some sort of a special superpower. So, you see, while they're doing their best to save the world, have you ever noticed, though, all the damage that they do collapse? You know, they just all of it that happens around them. And so, obviously, collateral damage everywhere. Buildings get destroyed. Bridges collapse. Sometimes, right, schools, they just magically disappear like they did in March. Maybe COVID-19 is a superhero. Whoa! Yeah, that's awesome, huh? Yeah, you guys can take that to the bank. So cars get smashed, though. So all of this happens. So I have a question up here for you guys. So you guys know superheroes most of the time, they try and help people, even with the collateral damage. But why is it that what are the most common reasons, though, that we don't help the people that are in need? Why do we not help the people that are in need? Pride? That's a good one. Pride? What else? Why else do we not help people that are in need? Fear. Ah, sure. Sure. You know, a lot of the times whenever you see those individuals down by Walmart, right? Or if you go to the bigger cities, of course you see individuals all the time on the streets, right? I'm gonna give you an example that you know, obviously I've been to several big cities, and I've seen where whenever you walk down and man, people are just like, oh, give me some money, please. I don't give money. Why? Because most of the time those people probably don't even need it, right? But how do we know the difference between the people who are really in need and those people that probably aren't? Most of the time, the people that are really in need, what do they not do? They don't ask for help a lot of the times. You have to pay attention to what's happening within their life. You have to pay attention to where they're at. You have to pay attention to several things, and most of the time, they're not the ones that ask for the help. Those are the ones that really and truly need it. So what are the most common reasons that we don't help? You know, pride, sure, fear, yeah, but maybe we're just oblivious. Maybe we're just oblivious individuals. You see, Jesus, right? A lot of the times, whenever we look at him, how did he recognize somebody needed help? They asked for it, right? Because they knew that he would do something about it. You see, the story spread far and wide about Jesus that, hey, no matter what, he would be there to help and to love them. He would be there to heal them. See, that's a big difference about our church today. That's a big difference about people coming to us and asking for help. Because you see, we've let individuals down so many times in the past that people don't know that the church is here to help anymore. That to me is why we've become oblivious and people don't ask us anymore. The church, they don't ask us. Guys, I keep telling you, you guys are not the church of tomorrow. You guys are the church of today. You guys need to help correct this just as much as the adults do. We need a generation that will come back as superheroes and will recognize that people need help. That people need us, the church, that people need Christians again. You all are the ones that need to change it. So, we have a story tonight. It's a video. Paul, if you could play that video for us, please.
My name is Mark Moore. I have been living homeless in abandoned homes for about 4 years. I came from poverty. I was able to get a college degree, work in the professional world. I had goals of achieving success in corporate America, but I carried a lifetime of mental and physical abuse from my childhood. I suffered from anxiety, neurosis, depression, being alone, carrying all this on your shoulders without having insight. It forced me really into a mental breakdown. The darkest moments of homelessness is the sense of helplessness, not being able to take a bath or shower or shave. You just feel like I can't make it, and you just want to give up. Love Beyond Walls has helped me tremendously. An active part of society. Love Beyond Walls has gone through the process of helping me get identification, tracking down my birth certificate. They've helped me with clothing and a place to shower. They've given me a temporary place to stay. They've been a major part of me transitioning out of homelessness. You need help from others to get you out of homelessness, because you can't just do it by yourself. It's going to take helping hands along the way.
Wow. So Love Beyond Walls. You see, Terrence said his team over at Love Beyond the Wall, right, they didn't have any superhuman skills or talents. But you know what they did have? They just had umption. And they did something heroic within Mark's life. It was pretty selfless, if you ask me. So, Paul, if you could hit next for me. And so within Mark's story, what stuck out to you within this story? The ones that are here. What stuck out to you? If you're watching online, you guys can also comment. We won't know it, but you can comment. He couldn't do it on his own. He was stuck. right? He was, just like this says, stuck out to you. He was stuck within his own life. He was stuck there. He didn't know what to do, but he had help. What were some specific needs that the gentleman had? You guys got to help me out here. Shower, right? Bath, hygiene, clothes. He couldn't get a shave. Somebody else needs to shave. You see, just the smallest of things that we take for granted every day. And this guy couldn't do it. He couldn't have it. Why? Why couldn't he have those things? He needed help. How was Mark cared for within the story? How was Mark cared for? Meeting the needs, right? They gave him a shower. They gave him a shave. They gave him some clothes. They helped track down his birth certificate. A lot of you, if we were to ask your parents right now, where is your child's birth certificate? I guarantee you, all of them will be like, yeah, we have it in this location. Some of them might be like, well, it's somewhere in the house. So you see, but at least your parents at least know what your birth certificate is. This guy didn't even know where it was, and look how old he was. He needed that help. What do you think Love Beyond Walls gained for helping Mark? What did they help? What did they get for helping Mark? Probably what? Probably nothing. You're right. Probably nothing. I doubt that they got millions of dollars. I doubt it just, who knows, if they got anything at all. But what do you think, though, that Terrence, the guy that started Love Beyond Walls, what do you think he received, though? Goodbye, Adeline. See you later. She doesn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go either. I'm doing great tonight. So what do you think Terrence received, though? I think Terrence probably received, right, just the joy of trying to help someone else. Because that's what a Christian does. A Christian doesn't help people to get back $1 million, but instead a Christian helps because it just gives them joy and it brings them happiness. What words would you use to describe Love Beyond Walls? What words would you use? I'm sorry? Unconditional. Unconditional. Absolutely no conditions tied to Mark having help from these people. An unconditional love for people. Wow, that's powerful. Anything else? What words would you use to describe Love Beyond the Walls? Man, we're so quiet. You see, when we hear a story like this one, we are often moved, right? At least we should be moved. Because that's a touching story. That's something that touches my life, to know that there is somebody out there that is willing to sacrifice their time, sacrifice probably their money, sacrifice everything that there is about them just to help another individual. That should move us. You see, there's something so inspiring about seeing people do heroic things for other individuals. But let me make this statement tonight. Paul, Terrence didn't save the entire world. You see, Love Beyond Walls didn't save the entire world. But this is what he did. He made a dramatic difference in one person's life. They made a dramatic difference in one person's life. You see, Jesus, though, what did he do? He came to save the entire world. Not just Mark, but instead he came to save the entire world. You see, that's not all he did. Jesus also showed a heroic love. He showed a heroic love. He showed a heroic kindness. He showed heroic care, not just to one person, but instead he did all of these things to everyone. He literally changed the entire world. But you know what's funny is this, is that he asked us after he left to carry that on. He asked us so simply to say, hey, love people, help people, care for people. What have we done this week to help someone and show love? Let's look at John tonight. We're going to be in John chapter 13. We're going to be going from verses 1 through 17. It says, starting in verse 1, it was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave and go into the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon. You see, Jesus knew that the Father had put all these things under his power, and that he had come from God, and he was returning to God. So he got up from the meal. He took off his outer clothing and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. Verse 6, he came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus replied, you do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. No, said Peter, you shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered, unless I wash you, you have no part with me. Then, Lord, Simon Peter replied, not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. Jesus answered, those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean, and you are clean, but not every one of you. For he knew who was going to betray him, and that he was why he said not everyone was clean. Verse 12, when he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes, and he returned to his place. Do you understand what I have done for you? He asked them. You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that I have done for you. Very truly, I say, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. You see, Jesus, our hero, he taught us how to love and how to care for others. You see what he did? He modeled it. He just didn't teach it, but he modeled it. You see, Jesus spoke these words knowing exactly what was about to happen to him. He knew that he was about to walk out those doors. He knew he was about to go to the garden, and he knew that he was about to be arrested. He knew he was about to be falsely accused. He knew he was about to be murdered. And he was going to do all of it out of love. Love. You see, for Jesus, these weren't just empty words. You see, he showed his love and care for people through just the smallest acts. You see, to us, that just sounds, well, I mean, washing somebody's feet, why? What does that have to do with anything? Well, you see, washing their feet, that was the dirtiest part about them at the time. They didn't have, well, we're kind of reverting back to sandals, it looks like, but we have all these Birkenstocks in here. I think all the girls literally have Birkenstocks. And so, but but you know, they didn't have these closed-toed shoes that we have, like tennis shoes or hiking boots. And so a lot of the times, you girls know what it's like whenever you're wearing Birkenstocks. What happened to your feet after you wear them for a while? They get dirty, right? They get disgusting. I don't know why you guys wear those. It's, ugh. But you see, by him doing this, it was showing everyone within that room he wasn't afraid. He wasn't afraid of the dirt and the grime. You see, he had to take on all the dirt and the grime to wash it away. He was showing us that everyone is exactly the same. Everyone has dirt and grime within their life. Not one of you within this room, not one of you that are watching, not a single individual that you will ever meet will not have dirt and grime all over them, especially on their feet. Because it's our feet that normally take us into sin, you see. So see, he was saying there, I love you and I'm going to wash you. Why don't people come to us anymore and ask for help? Because it seems like our feet are just as dirty as theirs, and they're like, well, if theirs are dirty, why should we have to clean them? We become oblivious. You see, we may never have to literally lay down our life for others, but we can be heroic if we'll just love them and care for them in the same way that Jesus did whenever he was here. So, if I can find where I'm at in my own notes, I've lost my place. You see, God's decision to love every single one of us sacrificially, it should remind us every day of the way we should treat others. You see, God's love, it isn't just about buying someone a nice gift. It isn't just about, oh, well, we'll do, here, I'll give you $1 bill for a Coke. That's not what it's all about. If you want to do that, that's cool. But you see, what we're talking about is much deeper. It's not about doing something for someone so you get something in return. That's not sacrificial love. What kind of love is that? Huh? Bargain, sure. You expect something in return just because you do something for somebody else. You see, Jesus didn't care for people to be flashy. See, he didn't want them to be all that in a cup of beans. Whenever the rich man asked, how do I get to heaven, right? He said, well, you got to sell off your riches. He didn't want people to be flashy. He doesn't want us to be flashy to other people. But you know what he wants us to be? Is that he just wants us to care with a deep love. You see, Jesus didn't hold back his kindness until a crowd was watching. He didn't hold back his love just because a friend was sitting there filming it for social media. Maybe it was going to go on TikTok. I don't know. But you see, Jesus genuinely cared for people that were in front of him. It didn't matter that if there was only one person there or if there were 5,000 there. He treated everyone exactly the same because that's who he was. And that means that's what we should be. You see, in the same way, Jesus heroically cared for the people in front of him. He tells us to do the same because why? Because heroes care for people. So what does this look like for us? Are we supposed to wash each other's feet? We did that last year. Paul, you can get that look off your face? I saw you. We did it last year. Should we find someone like Mark that is experiencing homelessness, that doesn't know where his birth certificate is? Should we try and find them a job? Well, first, let me ask you this. Where are some places that you can help people? You as individuals. Don't say school, because we all know that's not happening anytime soon. So where are some places? Maybe you visit this place daily. Maybe you visit it weekly. Maybe you have to visit it monthly. But where are some places where you could impact somebody's life? Say museum? I know Connor said anywhere. Oh, youth camp. I thought you said museum. Like, huh? You could do a museum. That's it. I don't know if museums are open. But hey, great news is that we're moving to phase 2 on Monday, if nobody has heard yet. Yeah, woo. So what that means is that Sunday school does start back up this Sunday. So 9:45 Sunday school. My youth, though, don't forget, we're doing True Love Waits. So boys, girls, girls, you're in here. Boys, you'll be down there. And so, but Sunday school starts back 9:45, adults and kids. And then next Wednesday, all classes start back for us. So, there you go. So, I think that's good news. So, phase 2 starts Sunday for us, essentially, even though it starts Monday. But we're kind of moving it ahead one day. So, where is somewhere specific, though, that we could absolutely change somebody's life? Sure, you can do it anywhere, Connor, but where can you change somebody's life right now this week? The sharing kitchen? Yeah, we haven't done a sharing kitchen in a while. Nellie, Rachel, where are we at? So, I love this live stream stuff. That's awesome. A grocery store? Awesome. Hey, that was great. For everybody on live stream, what Kaylee said is that what we could do is we could contact elderly people that are too afraid or can't make it to the grocery store and get them their groceries. That's great. What else? What else we got? What else can we do? Where else can we go to change somebody's life? What? Your house. Is your house not saved, Paul? Molly, we're going to have to pray him through tonight. So, but no, I mean, absolutely, though. I believe you can do it in your house. Whenever your parents ask you to do something, don't give them lip. Say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, and you do it. Right, Connor? That's right. It's the simplest things like that that show people that you genuinely care about your faith. You want to know why? Because Jesus Christ, if his parents told him to take the trash out, I believe Jesus Christ took the trash out then. I don't believe he waited an hour or two whenever he said, I'll be done playing my game. I don't know what kind of games they played back then, but still, I don't believe that's what he did. I believe that he showed his parents reverence. I believe he showed his parents love. And the way that he did that was saying, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, and I'll take care of it. So absolutely your house. Anywhere else? I'm sorry? Baseball games. Man, I've been waiting for that one, Connor. That's it. You got to speak up. We got so many people in here, we can't hear each other. That's it. At a baseball game, Connor, I think that's great. You could impact so many young men's lives, because how many people's normally on a team, Connor? At least 12, right? You got at least 12 guys on your baseball team? Yeah. So you got 12. And that means there's also 12 on the other side. How many is that on the baseball field at once? 24 kids. And then you've also got refs and umps, right? Holy moly, moms and dads. You could impact probably 100 lives with one baseball game. Wow. Connor's going to save a bunch of people at his next baseball game. Yes. I believe it. You see, ordinary places are filled with extraordinary opportunities. Did you guys hear me? Ordinary places are filled with extraordinary opportunities. You see, it's easy whenever, well, it's easy wherever you are, I would say. It's easy wherever you are, but it's also easy whenever you're in the right mindset. You see, so often we're not in the right mindset to help others. Because you see, we start thinking about our own problems and our own needs, and we easily forget that we should be helping others. You see, Jesus once asked his disciples this. He said, "Don't you have eyes to see? Don't you have ears to hear?" You see, when we overlook the needs of people who are right in front of us, the question is, would Jesus ask us the same question? If Jesus was in here tonight with us, would he ask us the same question? Do you have eyes? Do you have ears? Can you see tonight? Can you hear? Would he ask you the same question? Or would you feel confident enough if Jesus was to walk through the door that we left open tonight? Would you feel confident enough that he would pass over you because he thought you were doing an awesome job? I know for sure what would happen. He would stop right here and look me straight in the face. And he would say, "Do you have eyes tonight? Are you able to see the people that are around you?" He would then ask, "Can you hear? Can you hear the individuals around you that are needing help?" You see, here are a few ways that maybe you could impact somebody's life. Smile at someone. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, what about if you're having to wear a mask outside? I still smile at people whenever I walk down the hallways at work. Whether or not they can see my mouth, you can tell by facial expressions whenever somebody is just cheerful and just smiling. Their eyebrows, that's it, right? There are other expressions. But here's the thing, don't be creepy. I mean, you know how it is whenever somebody just kind of looks at you, and it just all of a sudden gets... Don't be creepy about it. Just give them a slight, how you doing today, right? Be nice about it. Surprise someone by doing this. Are you guys ready? Surprise somebody. Don't jump up behind them and tickle them. You'll probably go to jail. But instead, surprise them by saying, "How is your day going? Are you doing okay today?" The guys at work and myself, we kind of talk about this sometimes. You see, do you guys think it's rude whenever you ask somebody how their day's going and they don't ask in return? Do you guys think that's rude? See, we at work, the guys in my office, we believe it's rude if I say, "Hey, how are you doing today?" And they say, "Good." And if they just keep walking without saying, "How are you?" we think they're rude. Oh, man, that's terrible. I get it. I get what you're saying, right? That essentially, right, we get into a repetitive motion, right? I get it. So what you're saying is whenever we're in worship, right, and we just kind of don't raise our hands or we don't sing along, right, we're just kind of repetitive in that moment, right? It's kind of like that. Or whenever it's time for prayer, right, we don't pray. Or whenever it comes time to read our Bible, we don't read our Bible because we get into a repetitive motion. So yeah, it's exactly the same way, is that essentially whenever somebody asks you, "Are you having a good day?" Maybe someday, maybe you should just be like, stop in your tracks and just say, "No, this is the worst day I've ever had. Do you have a few moments?" What do you think would happen? Do you think that would stop? Or maybe someday, maybe you should try, "I am having the most splendid day. Would you like to hear about this day?" Right? So give someone something they need. Maybe they do need a coat. Maybe they need a pair of gloves. Maybe they need a hat. Maybe you're at the river, right? A lot of us go to the river during this time. You see someone that's sunburning. Maybe you have some sunscreen for them. Offer it up. I mean, they would probably much rather have COVID than they probably would a sunburn. No, you don't think? Oh, well, sunburns aren't that bad. Well, give them something. It's just like our church on Wednesday nights. We have been preparing meals. Thank you, Sister Rachel. Thank you, Sister Nellie. And thank you to Brother Jack and Brother Carl and Sister Sharon and their daughter that's been driving meals around. We've been delivering over 50 meals a week from our church. That's amazing, guys. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. You know, considering we've only been averaging 50 to 60 people come on Sunday mornings, so we're essentially feeding the exact same amount of people that's been coming to church during this. That's amazing in my opinion. I think it's awesome. Ask someone a question about themselves and let them really answer. Pay attention to how others are feeling. You can tell whenever somebody is stressed. Don't wait until the highs are all over them. You can tell before that point. Pay attention if they're sad. Pay attention if they're angry. You can tell whenever somebody is just vibrating anger from themselves. They walk in the room and you're just thinking, holy moly. It's kind of like married people. Whenever you guys get married, you just know whenever a married couple has been fighting and you walk into the room with them. This is what I'll say, Destiny, is that Paul once wrote, he said, it is a blessing to be married, but it is also a blessing to be single. Paul did say that, and it wasn't your brother. You see, if someone is hurting, maybe you can make them feel better. Sometimes you can't make them feel better, though. But sometimes maybe just listening, maybe that's all they need. You might try and make them laugh. You might try and give them advice. Or maybe just simply be there with them. That's sometimes all people need, is to know somebody will sit there next to them. Don't even say a word. Just sit there. So, Paul, if you'll bring up the next scripture for us. In John chapter 13, verse 34 and 35, it says, a new command I give you. Love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. How powerful. You see, Jesus is saying right here, everyone's going to know that you're a Christian if you'll just simply love everyone. He made it so simple. You know, we try and overcomplicate it so often. We try and make it so hard. We make it so hard. But here he says, just love. Love everyone. Guys, I know it's hard to love everyone. I know it's hard to love everyone. I find it difficult to love some of my youth sometimes. But you know what? I do love you guys very much. Paul, hit next for me. What do you think we gain when we care for other people's needs? What do we gain? What do we gain? I'm sorry? Happiness. We should. A sense of accomplishment. Closure. I like that one. Closure. I don't know, different people will gain different things when they care for people. And I think as you develop your relationship with Christ, I think you gain different things. As you truly learn to love other people, I think you gain different just rewards. It's hard for us to grasp until we actually start helping people. You see, if you want to do a better job for caring for people in front of you, there are four words. There are 4 words I want you to learn tonight. Paul, hit me up, please. Number 1, awareness. Like we just discussed, the first step in caring for people in front of us is to be aware of their needs. Be aware. That includes everyone that's in your wonderful family, right? Even whenever you want to punch them in the face. Whenever you feel like drowning them in the buffalo. Whenever you feel like just shipping them off to China. Maybe to Timbuktu. I was thinking of Wuhan, but you see, you start with your family. You start by knowing, what do they need? What do they require? Next one, listening. Most of the time, teenagers have a real problem with listening. Thank you, Paul, for being honest. Your mom will be proud. Connor, I know. Thank you for being honest, too. You see, listening, if you want to care for people that are actively around you, you must listen to the things that they say. You see, women, I love my wife. I love my daughters. But sometimes women are really bad about not just saying what they want. And men have to learn to read between those lines. I'm still a novice. But just listen. Listen to the individuals around you. Listen to your brother. Listen to your sister. We don't know what kind of day they had. But if you'll listen, they'll tell you. Next one. Interpretation. You see, if we want to care for the people that are in front of us, we have to think about how our words can be interpreted. Not only about what we meant by the words we said. You see, men have a real problem about saying things and meaning something completely different. And then women just like take that and they run with it. And you're like, whoa, no, that's not what I meant. I don't know what to tell you here. Guys and gals are just different. If 2 guys get in a room, we can have a conversation, and the next thing you know, if I get in the room with my wife, it's something strange happens. She interprets it a completely different way than what the guy did, and she gets upset. I was like, what? You see, teenagers are exactly the same way. You see, your parents might have been teenagers at one point, but the problem is that maybe that's been 20, 30 years ago. And so the thing is that they interpret things different now than whenever they were teenagers. That's why sometimes they yell at you for no reason. You think you're not doing anything at all bad, but then all of a sudden they flip a switch and they're like, why are you doing that, Paul? And Paul's like, I'm not doing anything. Yes, you are. Parents interpret things differently than what teenagers do. I know, teenagers, it's hard for you to put yourself in your parents' shoes now. But whenever you're trying to tell your dad that you think you know more than him, Just stop. Stop. You don't. Because your words will come across like, your dad, bonehead, you smart. That's all he's going to hear. And then it's on like Donkey Kong. Next. Sensitivity. Sensitivity. If we want to care for the people that are in front of us, we must be sensitive to experiences, perspectives that we don't fully understand. You see, sometimes hearts might be right, but a lot of the times our mouths are not. So we need to be sensitive. I'm not a sensitive guy. Whenever Brenna and I were first dating, her nickname for me, and I've told you guys this before, I'm sorry. Sometimes I feel like pastor and I forget what I've told people. But you guys will get that joke later. But she would call me Stonewall Jackson. That's how sensitive I was. So I want you guys to remember those 4 words: awareness, listening, interpretation, and sensitivity. Paul, if you would, take us to Philippians. In Philippians chapter 2, verse 5 through 8, it says, "Have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but he emptied himself by taking the form of what? What's it say? A servant, being born in the likeness of men, and being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross." You see, sometimes the most heroic things we can do are the smallest, but they're the most meaningful things. We don't need to have superpowers to change the world. But you know what we need to do? We need to be willing. We need to be willing to care and to love others, just as Jesus cared and loved us. You see, heroes care for the people in front of them. Hit next for me, Paul. You guys don't have to answer this. I want you guys to think about this. What's one way you're going to put this into action this week? What is one way that you're going to care and love someone else? Because words without action is what? What'd you say? Did you what? Words without action. Isn't there a saying about this? Words without action, or I don't know what it is now. I've forgotten. Well, actions speak louder than words. That is true. Thank you. Thank you, Cammie. I appreciate that. Sure, let's go with that. Finish this off, Paul. Worship team, if you would come, just sing a quick course of something. Heroes care for the people in front of them. Heroes care for the people in front of them. Let's worship for just a little bit longer tonight. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Wyatt, thank you for joining online. I saw your comments. Thank you, Wyatt, for watching. Any other youth that are watching, thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure and make it back next week. We're going to be here. We're going to be here. All the kids are going to be here. Adults, everybody's going to be here next Wednesday, so we can't wait for that. Let's close out in prayer tonight together. Lord Jesus, we're just so thankful, Lord, for the victory that we find within you. Lord, you gave us the perfect example on how a hero can care for those individuals that are right in front of us. I pray, Lord, that we take that, Lord, and let's not just forget about it, but instead, Lord, we take it and we place it back where it belongs, Lord. Lord, people should be coming back to the church and asking for help once again. Let us not be oblivious to the cries. Let us not be oblivious, Lord, to the needs of the people. Lord, let's find victory within you. And let's help other people attain their victory, Lord, by sharing your love. Lord, we love and praise you tonight. And we give you all the glory, the praise, and the honor. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you guys so much for being here. We will see you guys on Sunday morning. Thank you, worship team.